It's generally held that running faster is harder than running slowly. And that might be true if you're running a set amount of time. Running 10 minutes fast probably is harder than running 10 minutes slow, but I don't think that's necessarily true if you're running a set distance. In fact, there are some ways that running a slower marathon is harder than running a faster one. So here they are, reasons that running a slower marathon is harder, filmed on the run. A slower marathon means more time on your feet, more time for your ankles, your knees, and your hips to be taking abuse and to take a pounding. That extra time on your feet really is tough on the body. A slower marathon time means more time to face your doubts, more time to have to listen to the little voice in your head that tells you you're silly for trying to do this, that you were silly to try, that you're tired, and that you want to quit. Another way that slower runners have it more difficult than faster runners on marathon day is the weather. In summer marathons, as the winners cross the line, it's still a relatively cool, nice day. But as the slower runners begin finishing, it can be 20 or 30 degrees warmer. On rainy marathon days, it's just that much more time for the slower runners to be out in the rain and getting their shoes wet. Slower marathoners don't have as much crowd support and often don't have the benefit of on-course entertainment. Many of the crowds have already left by the time the slower marathoners have come through, with the crowds having already cheered for their runners on the course. The on-course entertainment has often already packed up, if not already left, by the time the slower runners come through. So slower runners have to amuse themselves on the course. It's their only option. There is an upside to this, though. It does make it a lot easier for slower marathoners to find their people at the finish line because everyone else has already left. Slower marathons can be harder than faster marathons because of the tyranny of the sag wagon. Race days can be stressful enough dealing with your own physical and mental stresses of running a race. But for slower marathoners, there's the added stress of having to keep an eye on the clock to make sure you stay ahead of course time limits so you're not pulled off the course. This is something faster marathoners may not even know happens on race day, but races can run out of stuff. As the day wears on, it can become increasingly common to hear refrains of running low, if not entirely running out, of sports drinks, gels, and sometimes even water at aid stations and the finish line. Slower runners have to be more self-sufficient, carrying our own sports drinks, water, and gels, because we can't always rely on races supplying it for us.